Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. Webinar what's called "The Supply Chain Has Gone Digital: 7 Challenges Manufacturers and Distributors Must Look Out For." Today, we are very lucky and fortunate to have Giuseppe Ianni from Sana Commerce with us, and he's going to be doing most of the presenting. But before that, if you want to interact or a big fan of Twitter or whatnot, use the hashtag SanaSSI. We'll be checking it regularly throughout the day, and we can answer some questions that way. So with that, I'm going to pass it on over to Giuseppe.
Thank you. Yeah, and should be able to see my screen in just a second here.
There it is.
There we go. All right. Well, thank you for the introduction there, Michael, and thanks everybody who's in attendance today or watching this at a later date and time. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Again, my name is Giuseppe Ianni. I'm with Sana Commerce. I'm the VP of Sales here. I've been in the industry helping organizations transform their business digitally online. And as we kick off today, we'll start talking a little bit more about the disruption in the marketplace today in organizations' digital maturity, how they're evolving, right? What people understand about the current state and where they're moving towards. We'll talk about some of the more current trends in this space with manufacturing in particular. With commerce, we'll talk about some of the more common obstacles we see in the path to success that we see organizations facing, and then inevitably how Sana can help your organization become more competitive in this space today as we talk about taking our businesses online. So as we start talking about the current state of commerce, some pretty interesting notes here and facts as we start to dive into them. Most organizations, believe it or not, aren't really all that mature when it comes to commerce. I think when you think commerce, most people think Amazon. You think about a lot of manufacturing, distribution type companies today. A lot of them don't got their stuff together, right? We'll get into that a little bit later, but as we look at where most people are at, most organizations are still stuck on the basics, right? Just selling and getting products online. Very less than 40% have moved to a more sales-centric approach where they're actually focusing and looking at the numbers and trying to find ways to improve. And then there's a very small subset, less than 1 in 5, right, that have actually started in commerce and then moved to a more hyper-personalized type environment, what the industry labels as e-commerce 3.0. So a lot, again, just focused on the basis in summary. And as we look at this report here from Sapio that we're able to source here, a lot of organizations today are focused less on how they can use e-commerce to actually transform their business and more on just achieving short-term goals and results like driving more sales, which is kind of interesting because many organizations, as you look to go online, a lot of organizations long-term, their goal is to expand globally, right? It's to sell more products, offer more brands inside of a portal. But most today are, again, just focused on driving that revenue. And as we look at the survey here, we note that 84% indicated that they're currently implementing or have operated a web store, right? 84% of businesses. Whereas we look at the ones that are focusing on e-commerce 2.0 objectives, right? The step up, 48% here indicated that driving sales was their top priority. And I think this, outside of driving sales, right, e-commerce initiatives also appear to be motivated heavily by the need to improve the overall customer experience. And business efficiency, right, are the kind of the two trailers behind that. And I think, though, when you look at both of those are done well, inherently, you're going to increase your sales. So it's a little bit interesting. And I think as we look at where do we see distributors falling that we speak to each and every day, right? And I know a lot of people are talking about all the buzzwords in the chain or in the channel today. A lot of organizations are still stuck somewhere between that 1.0 and 2.0. A lot of distributors today have embraced commerce, though those that currently have a commerce site in place plan to replace that. I think this is a really interesting stat. Over the next 1 to 2 years, those that have commerce, 80% of them are going to upgrade or change out that system. And really the driving factor behind that is scale, right? They need data, they need information, they need to better service their customers, and the technology that organizations have in place today just isn't cutting it. And as we note that, we then jump over to 71% of distributors are investing in e-commerce in order to drive more sales, and 57% of those are selling online to actually find new clients, right? They understand the market share they have today, but as they get online and they go digital, they can find more and more customers to come back. And I think all these are really promising stats, of course, but I think for distributors in particular, the challenge doesn't stop with just selling, right? There's many other factors that play into the list of challenges that distributors face as they go online, right? They have more competition in the marketplace. Many suppliers are eliminating the need for distributors in particular by going direct to consumer, right? So they're forcing distributors really to respond by specializing on this in the services and fight to prove their value back to customers, right? That's happening more and more. And as we look at that, part of the reason behind this, and you see people like Amazon with Amazon Business coming in the marketplace, the distribution marketplace in particular is a $6.6 trillion marketplace today, right? And organizations see that and they say, how do we provide more value so we can rise to the top to take a little bit more of that market share? Knowing that things are changing, right? Selling through the distributor to the customer is a thing of the past, and finding a way to get directly to our customers and having that brand loyalty directly with the customer is an opportunity, right? And in the marketplace today, they note that 68% of North American manufacturers, right, B2B manufacturers or distributors and wholesalers are selling directly to end customers. So for those on the call today, are you doing it yet? Are you part of that 70% almost that are selling directly to customers? If you're not, it's definitely a shift that's occurring today that organizations are moving to. And as we look at this data, I think it's safe to assume that based on the data, that distributors are using commerce to fill more specific needs with their supply chain rather than just driving more sales and improving efficiency. And I think for many that this means that they'll have just as much to lose as other organizations make this shift, and they're facing more challenges down the road with e-commerce not working for your business, right? So there's going to be more competitors with people going online. There's going to be more complex marketplaces that come into the picture. How do we ensure that our business is ready and can embrace the change, the new marketplaces, can embrace the fact that there's more distributors out there, knowing that we're offering an attractive, high quality, integrated website with an optimal customer experience can be really the essential tipping point for your business that differentiates you from the rest of the marketplace. And with that, I think, well, what's the risk here, right? I know we want to do better. Yes, that's obvious. Well, what if we don't? What if we just stay down the same path? And this goes back to that 80% are replatforming, right? Well, why are they replatforming? Well, the risk is if you don't do it well, right, you're really losing market share. You're missing the mark. And it notes here that half of the organizations out there today are actually using data from their website to support key business drivers. So I don't know how my website's performing. I don't know how our customers are interacting to us, if they're happy or not interacting with us. I can't make informed business decisions to push forward. And many organizations respond when they don't see an increase in revenue on the web or more web traffic. They choose to drop price, right? But the fact is that buyers are willing to pay more, right, when you have a robust website put in place. So dropping your price isn't really the key here. When you have accurate data, your reliable product information is put to your client online, your clients will spend more to work with you. And the fact that you make that choice not to potentially do that, you're risking approximately 2 to 4% on your website every year because of the fact that we're not able to better service our clients. When you take a look at that bottom line, and if we can move that needle up 2 or 4% in the opposite direction, you're talking a 4 or 8% shift up versus the 2 or 4% down. So as we look at this, right, I think distributors today, as we summarize, right, are at a crossroads, right? It's about redefining, roles, services, your value prop, and replacing a lot of that with more innovative technologies or systems who will allow you to get it right. Getting your price right, getting your service right, having your on and offline channels communicating, right, is a way definitely for your business to set yourself apart for your competitors and allow you to grow into the future by taking on more brands, taking on more information or data, and putting higher transactional volumes through your web store. So as we jump off that distribution side and we move over to manufacturers, right, we note that there is a trend here and a change in the marketplace as we know it. And again, more research reports here that we're highlighting here note that nearly half of the wholesalers in the marketplace, right, are selling directly to consumer. And I think it's little wonder that e-commerce offers a great way to get manufacturers to optimize their margins, right, to increase margins by cutting out the middleman, right? We can go directly to consumers. So we see this interesting Forbes poll here and that really predicts the number of manufacturers that are selling direct to move from 50 today up to 71% in the next year alone, right? A massive jump in the volume of people going direct. We note that 81% of US e-commerce customers today expect that they'll make at least one purchase from a direct-to-consumer brand within the next 5 years. Pretty interesting stat. If we think of 81% of all people in the US will go direct in the next 5 years and start buying that way. Pretty astounding statistics to think about when we might have the more traditional models in place as an organization today. Though when we go direct to consumer, right, sales are more compelling, are more competitive between manufacturers and distributors and wholesalers, but manufacturers are ranking in a large piece of the pie because of the volume of transactions that are occurring out here, right? So if we can get out here, even if we're grabbing a small piece of the pie, it's a big add to our bottom line in the end. And part of the way to get there is we look at all the new evolving technology, whether it's IoT, 3D printing, AI, right? Machine-to-machine learning is also on the rise. And we note that 7% of all users surveyed note that machine-to-machine learning will play a critical role in the future of their sales strategy or how they service their customer, right? Knowing that over 3/4 today are either already using machine-to-machine learning or IoT as part of their e-commerce platform or strategy and plan to continue use of this into the future to make better business decisions and adapt quicker. We then move on to a customer-centric focus, right? A lot of organizations today, as we look at the fundamental shift in the manufacturing industry, the speed of which we can pick up, deliver, shorten that product life cycle is critical for our business to become a big business advantage that we have as we take our brands to market on a website. And I think this is this is all leading to a shift in the focus for manufacturers to move from product to focus on how we can better service our customers, right? And at that point, a web store offers out to your clients a one-stop shop of having a single portal in place for anything self-service related, placing an order, getting that product, initiating a return, looking at my document history, paying my bills. I can do that all through commerce, ensuring that I'm empowering my clients and having a more speedy self-service system put in place to allow those clients to interact with us at their pace. With that, we transition over to a more agile and more lean organization, right? And with a faster time to market, we don't have to worry about overproduction, right? With single unified systems, we know what those levels are sitting at. We have little wait time in operators sitting on machines. We don't have to worry about unnecessary transportation. We can optimize the load fill of these trucks, not worrying necessarily so much on the defects and the overall quality of the products. But with a more agile approach here, we can quickly adapt to customer expectations, right? And that's really what's driving a lot of organizations either out of business or high profitability, because when we are able to quickly adapt, right, we can maximize our efficiency and the overall customer satisfaction that our web store and our organization is able to deliver commercially. So as we dig into some of the more common obstacles manufacturers that we see e-commerce being able to accelerate, well, many of us today may be on the phone saying, hey, you know, as we look to go online today, we're looking to sell direct to consumer. And yes, that was on our heat map. Well, what about additional revenue streams, different brands, different business models, finding additional third parties that we might want to start working with or partnering with, or selling through a more traditional wholesale distribution channel as well. Right? There's new things that we can attempt to tackle when e-commerce is put in place. Though as e-commerce is put in place, we want to ensure that we don't incur or have data challenges hindering our business, and we don't have multiple siloed systems that aren't communicating that also hinder us. And this is how we get outpaced by competitors with a more complex supply chain in place. And this is what eliminates the ability for us to offer a more rich experience, right? A more customer-centric experience. So things that are really key to get right. Though as we get them right and we look at data accuracy, we can see that organizations, as they start to restructure and replatform, 80% of all businesses today have these three more common challenges, right? They need a single source of truth, right? And they know it's critical. They need the right and complete client data all in a single system, right? Maybe some of it's in the ERP, maybe some of it's in CRM, You look at being structured on the Business Central, we can unify all that and take that right to a commerce portal. We then move it over to getting product information, right? It's not in a single system. Well, if we can put it all inside of an application like Business Central, we can centralize it and pull it right out to your commerce portal running Sana to have all these challenges eliminated right from the get-go as we look at implementing and putting in place a more single stack type system. And when leveraged, will allow us to optimize our customer service, the analytics we have, better deal with price management, optimize security, be more innovative from a product planning, and also become more predictive as a business, which for a lot of manufacturers, the way we manage data is essential, right? And this is why we are such huge proponents of ERP integration to commerce. When we do that, we're able to dive in and actually figure out why, figure out what type of commerce we should be doing and what channels make sense for us, especially when manufacturers coming into the picture. And this is really where Sana fits in, because our goal as an organization is to help future-proof organizations. And as we look at almost half the organizations today, competing on price is still the key challenge that a lot of them have versus enhancing their overall proposition to the market. This is particularly important in the marketplace, as we note. Customers today would spend up to 16% more on a product or a service. They would pay you 16% more if you could guarantee them a better experience, a speedy checkout process, and a better customer service experience overall. So think about that. If we could increase everything we sell by 16%, have 16% more profitability in our product just from getting the things done right the first time. So put in place a good application that allows us to scale, and we will see dividends and returns. And as we break that down and look at some of the more common challenges, businesses today finding integration to the ERP like Business Central. Your customers will then be able to self-serve 24/7 without having to worry about getting on the phone. A portal allows them to self-serve, looking at all that rich document history that your ERP has, which will allow us to also meet demand, right? By having an easy to use, easy to navigate, easy to filter portal, accessing data from back office Microsoft Dynamics. Driving more revenue with upsell, cross-sell, ensuring that the availability of the product stock and SKUs that are shown is accurate, right? Not having to have a separate set of hands manage that information externally. Driving more efficiency in our internal sales departments, managing the more or even the most complex sales orders throughout the system. Having a web store can also manage even the more BOM or build type scenarios when done right. And having a system that will allow your business to scale into the future, right? Commerce, when put in place well and done properly, will allow you to buy new brands, acquire new brands, add more SKUs without having to increase overhead of the bodies managing the portal overall, which will help drive your overall offline and online efficiency. So at Sana, as we look at organizations that have invested in an application like Sana, not only are we tackling what I would say is the Commerce 1.0, 2.0, we then get into moving into things that will actually help your business scale, like having unique delivery options, multiple language, multiple currencies, having and handling even the more complex taxation requirements. All these things are things that can be handled natively with the Sana implementation with an application like Microsoft 365 Business Central in place, which for organizations, as we evaluate it, it might be, competitive threats today, but we can turn them definitely into opportunities for our business, because many solutions aren't able to provide you this, but we can get out and have some of the more common changes that happen to organizations over a short period of time put in place. And that's what Sana was designed to do. It's ensure that you put in place the ERP, you manage that logic and data, you then put in place Sana with our content management system, accessing all the logic from the ERP, allowing you to control how your customers are treated, how the website looks, how it feels, and personalize the front-end experience without having to rebuild the logic and the data from your ERP, which is a very unified approach that ensures that we deliver you certified applications that communicate back to Microsoft Dynamics 365 with a simple web-based admin panel, responsive from a front end on any device, with the flexibility to plug in external third-party components through extension points, build on the front end from an overall custom app or a custom look standpoint, but also ensure uptime and responsiveness of the website by hosting all this inside of Azure as well, whereas most organizations will also put their ERP. They'll giving you the flexibility to have it move wherever you might need the web store to reside or your ERP to reside, which is traditionally very different from what most organizations will see as they implement or purchase an ERP. They have a shopping cart, they find a connector, they find somebody to host, they find a third-party CMS, and they have a lot of external management inside of the cart that is duplicate, right? It's done twice, it's lagging, it's not allowing us to optimize the efficiency of our businesses. But what most organizations typically see when they approach a business like Sana, or when they look to upgrade their ERP or move to an ERP like Microsoft Dynamics, a very different type approach. And we've done this for organizations of all different shapes and sizes in a variety of different industries, though we've done it for certain ones more often than not, right? And we see an organization like IHL, right? A traditional hardware distributor up in Canada. You're really looking at a period of 4 to 6 months of their optimal selling season. For then, running Microsoft Dynamics, their biggest challenge having a shopping cart in place initially was, how do we better service our customers, ensure that these contractors and DIYers who are buying from us can quickly change, based on buyer demand, start stocking new products as they're requested, selling to these consumerized construction professionals with the need for online and offline data synchronization, which they didn't have prior. And what they did as they implemented Sana and Dynamics and put them both together, they were able to offer that rich customer service experience, always ensure data accuracy, availability accuracy, which for a contractor is critical, and also be able to have that quick turnaround, right? Order it, in the afternoon, lunchtime, have it on the job site by end of day. Order it end of day, have it on the job site by the next morning. When they were able to unify Commerce ERP and their WMS, they really were able to transform the way they treated their customers and get a lot more competitive than, hey, just drive up to the Home Depot or your local hardware store and pick it up yourself. This could be actually delivered right on site, and they could ensure transparency of what was being ordered. So with that, what I wanted to spend a few minutes on doing here today was, while we talked about commerce, I wanted to show what this could look like for your organization. So I wanted to pull up an environment here with the Sana application loaded in. As we talk about commerce, as we talk about environments in particular, Sana comes in a few different flavors. One of those flavors is not a full-blown ordering experience, it's just a customer portal, which might be right for your guys' business today. A lot of more organizations struggle with the heavy influx of documents, payments needed to be processed, and what I would say is more common customer service type questions like, hey, where's my order? Where's my invoice? Send me a copy. Sana allows you to deploy out a portal that allows your customers to simply log in, access historical documentation that would reside inside of your ERP, allowing a client to view orders, view invoices, view quotes, initiate returns, all from a browser-based UI. Inside of that browser-based UI, accessing documents up to the second, right? So if I made a change to an invoice, if a payment just posted to an invoice and we, for some reason, posted it manually, you would be able to see that change occurring real time inside of the portal without the need of having to call in and wait on customer service to pick up or wait on that rep to pick up my phone call. I could quickly access and view that information right through the portal. And that's what we're seeing here inside of the Sana customer portal. With, again, the ability to download, save, email off documentation, or quickly pay off an invoice. And again, while today you may be inundated with checks in the mail, in the future with an application like this, we eliminate the need to manually process a payment, manually post an invoice or a payment, and then settle, right? That's all automated with an application like Sana that directly processes the payment via credit card or ACH and applies the payment back to Dynamics. So your team back office is simply posting payments. So a quite different approach here. As we transition from a more, what I would say is native customer portal, we then move over to what I call more full-blown commerce. And again, Sana has a few flavors of commerce. The first flavor is more of a public, or what the industry would call a consumer-facing website. So somebody off the street could come to your web store, they could view a catalog, they could purchase, knowing that very well that this was a one-off buy or a first-time customer. We also offer what the industry would label as more of a customer website, or a B2B website, a distributor website, a dealer website, in which case I'm logging in with a unique set of credentials. Those unique credentials are going to drive the price, the products, the documents that I have access to. So again, I have access to any document history that Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central would have access to. I could view all those documents. I could reorder. I could check the tracking number. I could also, again, initiate returns. So if you're experiencing high volume of returns and call-in orders for that, we can put this back in your client's hands so they're actually able to initiate the returns right from a portal. We're also able to capture orders, and not only orders, but also quotes. And as we take a look at this portal, I'm exposing stock. I could go warehouse availability stock and show that. I could come down to a product level page to take a look at volume discount pricing that's set up in Business Central that I'm also able to look at, view, and expose. I could take a look at kits, what might have multiple components to it, and take a look at all those components. All this information here is information that you as a business have probably already set up inside of Microsoft Dynamics that has been synchronized and pulled right out to the Sana through the web service call and the initial launch. And in the end, having a nice, rich, robust website with extended documentation, upsell, cross-sell occurring on it, and having a nice, rich, robust cart that would allow a customer to either place an order or create a quote. And in the end, quote to order has become a big industry trend, especially for manufacturers and distributors, right? Sales reps are typically high touch on a lot of this. We can now put this back in our clients' hands so they can create their own quotes through the portal, ensuring that we have the appropriate tax schedules, the appropriate freight options shown, the appropriate tax or payment also captured at time of checkout, capturing purchase order numbers, delivery instructions, or even delivery dates, knowing that all this is then written back into the ERP, so then we can fulfill. And as we see this contract has now been finalized, in this case, a new quote, we could come back out here at any point and take a look at those quotes. We could also come back out here and convert that quote to an order if we wanted, all through the native Sana application. Now, while we're talking about this demo environment, so far we've talked about consumers coming out to a portal. We've talked about manufacturers, distributors coming into a more secure login-driven portal. We also take a look at the capacity for your salespeople or your customer service teams coming out here to order. So in this case, I've logged in today as a sales rep or a customer service agent, in which case, upon coming into the portal, and again, I could be out here on my mobile phone or tablet, I'm able to look up or access one of my customers, or maybe I have access to view all customers back in Dynamics, but I select an account. And upon selecting that account, I can see that client's document history, their order history, their quotes or their orders. And in the end, I could quickly convert a quote or an order, right? I could come back out here to that quote we just placed a minute ago together as the customer. I'm now viewing it as a sales rep and could come out here, change price, edit quantity, or just quickly convert this to a sales order. And when I'm done, you could see this has moved from a quote status to an order status back inside of Dynamics. I haven't had to touch the ERP side of things, but the web store is communicated directly back with it in ensuring that the client's always getting order confirmations, back office always getting order confirmations, so we can quickly pick, pack, and ship. And this isn't something that's synchronized, it's something that's directly written over, ensuring that we're optimizing the communication and the time to process an order efficiently through the systems. Everything I've shown today is packaged and optimized through the native Sana deployment. It can be personalized from a look and feel standpoint. It can quickly be modified or customized from an aesthetic standpoint using our backend admin panel that allows you to control not only the design or the layout, the navigation, and all the supporting product data in case you want to enrich product information inside of the native Sana application, giving you full control over the website and ensuring that you have the controls that you need to make and can make them on your time. So far today, we've talked a little bit about what commerce looks like today. The digitization is quickly happening in the marketplace today, and organizations are quickly embracing new technologies. They're evolving their website, and I think a lot of the trends that we'll see even over the next 18 to 24 months will reflect this more customer-centric marketplace. It's important for you as an organization today to get your data and systems in line that will allow you to optimize your client's experience so you don't fall short in terms of expectations that your clients do have. You can benefit from an integrated e-commerce application that will allow you to optimize their overall online experience that your clients have with you, and I think increase the overall value that you can deliver throughout your supply chain as you go to market. Sana has a solution for you that you can use that is integrated back to Dynamics that optimizes your experience and your investment in the ERP that you've already made today, that will allow you to be more lean and agile, but also future-proof, as this system is a SaaS-based application that will evolve with your organization. We invite you guys to learn a little bit more about that through our research report that we have available that you can download. If you have questions, comments, or feedback, please request that from us, or reach out to your native contact over here at Solution Systems. I'm sure they'd be happy to point you in the right directions. Otherwise, please feel free to reach out. And if you have any questions, we'd be happy to stay on for a few minutes here and answer any you might have.
Thank you so much, Giuseppe. We truly appreciate it. Very informative. I do not see any questions in the chat, but like Giuseppe said, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me and or Giuseppe, and we'll definitely get them answered for you. Just want to say thanks again, Giuseppe. We truly appreciate it, and everybody have a great day.
Excellent. Thank you.
Talk to you later. Bye.